Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into the CR250, the 01 that we rebuilt. It's looking pretty dang good right now, but today we're going to make it street legal. Now by the time you're seeing this, probably the Prime MX contest is over. This bike ended up making the top 20, but didn't quite get many votes. Ended up being at the bottom of that 20, but you know, doesn't really matter. What I think of this bike, I mean, I've been staring at it for like 2 weeks straight. It looks absolutely amazing, and I love everything I've done to it. So that's about what matters. The Prime MX contest was just a excuse to actually pull this thing out of the shed and rebuild it as fast as I could, and I think I ended up succeeding in that. Probably would have taken my sweet time on this if it wasn't entered in a contest and I didn't have a deadline. Here's our beautiful bike. I haven't taken you guys out on a first ride yet or anything. Hopefully you liked that reveal video. And I'm absolutely loving these flat track wheels. I don't think I ever explained these, but these are a Craigslist buy. Some Warp 9s. They're basically brand new and not a single mark on them. These were already mounted on them. Brand new flat track tires. They've got enough tread there for some street and just a little bit of dirt road action, nothing crazy. And then he ended up throwing in like 4 other sets of wheels, some a little more aggressive, some a little more slick, and absolutely hell of a deal on these wheels. So lucked out there, just happened to see these on Craigslist and ran over to Spokane, Washington, picked them up. So appreciate that, dude. Both front and back are 19s. It's not like your average supermoto where the front, I think usually they go like with a 17. I like the look of this more. Makes it look like just kind of a souped up dirt bike. And I'm not gonna be racing down the interstate on this. I kind of live in a rural area, so hanging around in town and on the back roads is where this thing is gonna be used the most. Just to cruise, have fun, go crazy on it. That's definitely what this bike is for. So I just talked about making this thing street legal. What I'm dealing with here is a company called Street OHV. I ended up just stumbling upon this online, and from what I could tell, this kit right here is going to be absolutely perfect. It's just a super slimline design to make any dirt bike street legal. Hopefully we can get this thing together with no issues, and I'll be riding it down the street by the end of the day. We've got a lot of goodies. This is the main harness here, control switch, blinker, horn, headlight. This is going to be your all-in-one taillight, brake light, and I believe built-in turn signals out there on the edge. These are going to be your front turn signals, wrap around the forks. Then you got your brake switch, horn you can mount. I think this might be license plate light. I haven't looked into it yet. Just your controller you can mount up. And then additionally I got this guy right here, just one little LED headlight, just in case I ended up getting in the dark and needing that. I think it'll look pretty dope, but I mean, all that to make this thing street legal. And then obviously our plate. In Montana, registration for dirt bikes, motorcycles, you can pretty much put a plate on anything. You just got to make it street legal, and that's all up to you. There's no inspections or anything like that, so it's pretty dope. I really honestly don't have to put any of this on here, and I probably be just fine, but at least want to try this out. Hopefully this kit turns out to be really good and I don't have issues with it. Seems simple, seems to the point, seems like everything should work just fine and be that nice slimline design where I don't have a bunch of stuff just hanging off this. Brake lights, blinkers, all that junk. Don't have extra handlebar mounts, any of that bulkiness going on. And one thing that's awesome about this is they just got a PDF, instructions, color pictures, plenty of details to figure out what's going on. This kit, it's for any bike that has a battery or doesn't. I've just got this battery hanging out, featherweight lithium battery, so it's pretty light. It's not terribly small. I might upgrade this to a like an 8-cell anti-gravity battery, where it's pretty much like this cut in half, and saves a ton of space, way easier to mount up where there's not a whole lot of room on like this bike in the airbox. But for now we're just gonna kind of mock that up in the airbox, and it should fit. It'll be tight and probably not the best looking, but for now, just to test this out, gonna use that battery. Also, before you get started on everything, I would just suggest go around, make sure all these plugins, you don't have any cut wires, frayed wires, none of these ends are messed up. And I mean, this looks like a pretty high quality harness. This is this part that's going to be up behind the number plate where most everything's going to connect to, and they've got it wrapped up nice. And here, this is going to lead into your battery box or your air box area. Just a note on this, you do have a couple different chargers here that you can either charge the battery off of, or you can hook up one of those USB chargers that come off this little two-prong deal. So let's get this thing fed through the bike. So taking our main harness here, I'm gonna go on this side. All you really want to do is either follow part of your harness, or if you don't have one, just follow lines where it's gonna be tucked away, not getting pinched, not getting ripped out, and then it's gonna be fed up into the air box. Just to give you an idea of my setup here, so got this main end, it's gonna be hanging out up here. What I did, through the forks, follow the frame. I'm gonna go ahead and go just over the top of all radiator hoses, so you'll just be able to see it along the frame here. However, I've got it diving down right through there, if you can barely see it, but comes down below the gas tank and comes out in this spot right here on the back of the gas tank. And this is the gas tank flush where it's going to be sitting. This has plenty of movement. It's just an open area, so that's able to just follow along those lines, come up above the rear shock, and then right there, got a nice little entrance into the airbox. This is just this rubber flap, but then we have our harness coming into the airbox. Simple enough. Now in the back here, we just want to mock up where a plate can fit. I've got 2 bolts that I removed here for the airbox. Right there, about the perfect width of my plate. Looks like I'll have to drill some holes. From there, it'll at least sit flat, and it will probably only be smashed if I completely compress the suspension, so we should be good. Give you at least a view above the tire, and that way you're not getting stopped for an obstructed plate. Just mock your plate up, find a way that you can mount it up in there, and go from there. So there, I've got my plate mounted up. All I had to do, just get slightly longer bolts for both these sides. Next, grab your taillight here, and basically, if there's a way that you're able to route it more comfortably with the wire going to the right or the left, do that. I can tell right now, so normally you'd want it mounted up on top of the plate. It's gonna come in contact with the fender because it's just a little too big. And if I mount it there, then it's just gonna slowly start to peel off. It would work down here on the plate. Unfortunately, that would cut off the Montana part. If I really wanted to, I could mount it on the plastic. I'm not sure how well it would adhere to that. So for now, I'm just gonna route the wire, and this is one that's gonna be headed into the airbox. So just route it to a place that you're able to route it nicely and not have wires sticking everywhere. All right, so for me, like I said, I'm not gonna stick this just yet, but what I've got going on, as you're able to see, it's really hard to get in there, but it's just routed up in between the seam of the fender and the airbox, and it comes out right in the airbox. Next, you want to mount up the front DRLs and turn signals. What they got going on with this is actually a zip tie, feeds into the other end, and then also the 3M tape, and they recommend placing this just below the triple. Next, we're going to be installing this brake switch. To deal with this, I'm going to remove this one. And then we'll just add a little bit of brake fluid later, test the brakes, make sure we're all up to speed on those. Next is going to be our control switch, and because of the way they make it, it's not like a two-piece clamp. You'll have to remove your grip. down. Looks like that's where we're gonna have to go. For now, I'm just gonna tighten it down so it's snug on there. Can move it around later. And great option would probably be just to pair up kill switch wires and these wires, so you got them running in the same place. So, I mean, that's a pretty clean setup. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. As long as nobody's ripping on them, just make sure all this stuff is going to be in a spot where when you turn the handlebars all the way, it's not yanking on any of these. So we got all this stuff loose for testing. Let's head back to the airbox. So in the back here, you either have your battery source or you have your fuel injected and you're able to tap into your capacitor. In this case with the CR250, I'm going to try and mount this bad boy up in here. It's going to be tight fit, but this is going to be our power source for now. You got your green, yellow, black, white, red. All these are the same. Green, yellow, black, white, red. So plug those in. Those are going to be plugged in, and then this is what you have for your battery source. You're able to plug that in, hook it up to your battery, and then it actually has a little 5 amp fuse that if there's any issues that can just blow and you're good to go. So I'm gonna get this all hooked up, see you in just 2 seconds. So there we have all the goodies wired up, our battery, positive and negative wired up. You can plug this guy in, and then we can run through our little test here. We hit our red switch for lights. Boom. We've got, oh no! We've got our brake light and a couple LEDs are jacked up. That sucks. And then followed up front, got our bright DRLs, and then we'll hit the horn real quick. Oh yeah, that thing's pretty loud. You can hit our left blinker. So there you go. Not the left blinker. That's how you know you need to swap those connectors. So it looks like orientation on that, we're gonna have to flip that around. Have the wire coming out on the other side. So with the brake, just had to add a little brake fluid. By the look of it, we might need to swap out that brake fluid, but just had to build a little bit of pressure. And there you go. Bing, bing, it's your brakes. So all systems are go for everything. Now I'm gonna hook up the headlight. And by the way, I just contacted Street OHV on Instagram. They got back to me in about 2 minutes. Said they'll send me another one of these right away. I think I'm gonna get all these goodies situated in the airbox, all the harnesses kind of wrapped up. So here's what I got going on for the LED light. This is just a, I don't know if you just want to call it a pod light, but it's by Cree LED. It's not like it's just some Walmart knockoff. It's a decent brand. And it looks like pretty good light output. I think that's a pretty cool spot to put it. That way it'll be like tucked right up against the number plate. This is going to be something that's on all the time. In Montana, it is required that you run a headlight and tail light on motorcycles day or night. So over the next few minutes, I'm gonna get all of this stuff secured, zip tied, stickied, everything put away, and we'll mount up the horn and stuff like that in here. We'll see how it goes. All right, we got things pretty well wrapped up. Front end's looking good. As you can see with the number plate on, that's super low profile, just pops out to the side. There we go. And then with this, basically I've left a couple adjustment points loose enough just so I can manipulate it if I need to while I'm going down the road. DRLs, they look pretty good. Turn on our left blinker. It's pretty high vis on that. Right blinker. And then obviously the horn up top there. The biggest issue I had was not having enough room behind this number plate. This 01 CR250, the number plate is pretty much just flat as can be up against this. For instance, with my CRF450 It's similar to that right there, where it's kind of got this V out, and there's a lot more space in between the clamps and the steering stem and the number plate, so there's a lot more room to work with. As of now, I'm just gonna have to mount the horn way up top here, and the little control box, that's just gonna have to hang out right there for now until I find a better location. I mean, if that's where it has to be, that's fine. It's really not even noticeable at all. Now in the back here, I went ahead, just put that on the bottom of the plates. As you can see, half of Montana is visible, so might get away with that. But with this, just the 3M stickied to the plate, and then these bottom holes that are already pre-drilled in my license plate, I just put a zip tie around both sides just to secure it. Blinker. Blinker. Then I'll try and hold it. There's brake light. To me, this is a super simple and effective way to get your bike street legal. Now for newer bikes, hey, that might be a sweet option. Just tossing these guys on here and throwing the tail light on. That turns your bike from having to haul it to the trails, just being able to ride it to the trails. Real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and throw all the plastics on. And there we have it. All put back together. She's looking good. Obviously the handlebars are a little bit messier now that we got more going on up there. So once again, this is a kit by Street OHV. That's their name right there. You can check them out. I mean, as of now, I think this kit's pretty well worth it. So the pricing on this is going to be around $140, I think. And then I chose to get the additional headlight there. I think my grand total was $190-ish. So it's not cheap by any means, but if you want a kit that's super slimline and I mean you can put on any bike, then I would go this route. The biggest issue I would watch out for is any type of binding up front there, because you don't want to be trying to turn a sharp corner and you get bound up and hung up on something. For the most part, everything follows either some existing wires or it's out of the way. I think it's a pretty dope setup. I'll be running it for a little while here. Like I said, I'm just going to be using this bike to like ride to the gym and just cruise around town, back roads, all that good stuff. Probably won't be taking the 250 out on the interstate. If you're interested in this kit, go ahead and check out Street OHV. Check them out on Instagram. You can DM them, ask them some questions, or you can just head over to their site and pick one of these up. In no way is this sponsored. I just thought this was a neat product, and from what I can tell, it's a good enough quality that it's going to be worth the money. So that's all I got for you. Of course, down in the description, all the good links. Check them out. Wild Moto on Instagram as well. You know what to do. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.